What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Celtic Clydesdale show. I'm Jim and I am the Celtic Clydesdale. Today's episode we're going to be talking about socks again, particularly Feetures socks. Now these are normal socks from Feetures, spelled Feetures. Now the pair of socks I have that are Feetures socks were bought with my own money, and Feetures knows nothing about me making this video, and they have no influence over my opinion on their socks. So, with all that said, let's get into it. Alright, where can you get the Feetures socks? Well, you can get them on good old Amazon.com. You can get them at fleetfeet.com or in a Fleet Feet store, or you can get them from Feetures.com. You'll probably pick them up in your favorite local running store as well. For cost, you're looking between $13 at the low end, upwards of $50 for their knee-high compression socks. For the most part, any socks that you're going to be using for your normal runs are going to set you back between $13 and $18. The ones I run in are about $14. So, and that's for the cushioned type that are the no-shows. I haven't tried out their crew socks. I've only tried the cushioned no-shows. But so the reviews here are going to be talking about the cushioned no-shows and not any of their other styles. But I'm willing to bet their other styles are going to fare the same. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into the fit and feel of the Feetures socks. All right, the fit and feel of the Feetures socks. First off, for sizing, I would say go into the Feetures website and check what size is going to fit with your shoe size. All right, for me, I wear a size 13. And for Feetures socks, that puts me in an extra large. So now, that being said, the fit for these is very nice. If you get the size meant for you, you're going to have a snug fit that is going to make you happy, and it's going to be snug enough that it's not going to be, you know, constrictive or anything like that, unless you get the compression socks, obviously. But at the same time, you're not going to feel the socks moving around on your feet while you're trying to run. All right, now the feel. I think these socks are very comfortable personally, particularly the, like I said, mine are the cushioned ones, and I really like the way they feel on my feet. Now, excuse me, I will admit, I normally only run in these when I'm doing triathlons. Occasionally I'll run in them during training runs, particularly if I'm doing like a bike to run brick. I'll wear these simply to cut down on time between the bike and the run. You know, when I'm actually doing a quick turnover or transition between the two. But they are very comfortable. They fit nicely. And I don't tend to get hot spots in these. I've also not gotten a whole lot of, you know, blistering or anything like that with them. So yeah, the fit and feel, very nice. I rather enjoy wearing these socks. Again, I just normally only wear them for running, doing triathlons, or doing, you know, brick style workouts where I'm also focusing on a quick transition. So let's move on and discuss the durability of the socks. Durability. All right, this pair of socks here I've probably had, I don't know, 5 years maybe, and as you can tell from looking at the bottom, there's some pilling going on, but there's no tears, there's no rips, there's no They're not falling apart at all. I don't put as much mileage, admittedly, on this pair of socks as I would do on my Injinji socks that I talked about last week, but I do run in these on a relatively fair basis, and I do run on them enough that if they were going to fall apart on me, they would have done it long before now. As far as other things are concerned, like de-threading, I've never seen any de-threading on these. I've actually had another pair that were, you know, the same style, just a different color. They were blue. I think I left those in a hotel somewhere. They vanished. Neither of these have I had any issues with de-threading or getting holes rubbed into them, and you know, due to any hot spots or whatnot. So the durability of them, I give them high marks for durability. The value for the price of the durability is definitely there and is totally worth it. So we'll move on to what I like about these socks. All right, things that I like about the Feetures socks. Probably my favorite thing about these socks is they get the little arch support band right here in the middle. I rather like it. It's like a little compression zone that just gives you that little bit of hug on your arch that makes your feet just feel nice and comfortable for the entirety of your run. And it's something that I like the feeling of. Also, particularly for their cushioned ones, they're cushy. It's a nice ride. It's not the type of cushioning where you're gonna work extra hard, or you know, you're gonna be putting, you're gonna have heavier footfalls so that you get a better feel for the ground. So it's not gonna mess up your gait. It's not gonna throw you off in any way while you're running. It's just an extra bit of comfort that's put in there by the little bit of cushioning that they put in the socks. It's actually pretty nice. I rather enjoy it, and I think that you should go ahead and give them a shot. See if you like the feel of them. Personally, like I said, I like the cushiness of them. As I might have mentioned a little bit earlier, no blistering. So I've never gotten blisters while running in these socks, even though they're not the open-toed socks like the Injinji socks. I've had no issues with blistering. Now, that being said, I haven't done much beyond 10 or 11 miles wearing a pair of these, to be honest. So perhaps maybe in the higher mileages past the half marathon mark up towards the marathon mark and beyond, maybe you could have some issues, particularly between the toes rubbing together, but I haven't had any issues with blistering. Part of that, I think, is that they do a pretty good job of wicking sweat away from your feet, which is the other thing I like. Another thing I like about them is you don't get much sweat buildup on your feet in particular, which is nice. And the sweat buildup is actually what results in most blistering, along with, you know, the friction between the shoe at the side of your feet or the underside of your foot and the friction between your toes as they rub together while you run. I personally have not gotten any of that in these socks, but again, the mileages that I've done in these socks at a given period of time has not been much past 10 or 11 miles. So I can't really speak about, you know, whether you would have blistering issues in your higher mileages. So I would suggest go ahead and trying them out and just see what happens, especially if you're doing, you know, 15, 20, 25 mile runs. Go ahead and give them a shot. But as far as likes are concerned, I like how they're cushy. I like that I don't blister in them, and that I also like that they do a pretty decent job of keeping sweat off of my feet. All right, the dislikes. Things I don't like about Feetures socks? Well, just like with the Injinji socks, I don't like that they don't have any Celtic themed socks. I mean, it would be nice if they don't have them. So, but beyond that, you know, which is a really nitpicky thing, the other things I don't like about these socks are, I really can't think of anything I don't like about these socks. They're really nice socks. They fit well. I don't get any blistering, and they're fairly durable. So honestly, I other than the fact that, you know, being nitpicky, being me, there's no Celtic themed socks out there for Feetures that I've found. But yeah, that's all I have to dislike about these socks. So let's go ahead and move on to my final thoughts about Feetures socks. All right, final thoughts. So first we'll start off with this. Would I recommend getting a pair? Yes I would. Would I recommend having multiple pairs? Yes I would. At the price point, which is about, you know, like I said earlier, $13 to $16 for their lower end socks, I think the value is definitely there. They're comfortable socks. They're very durable socks. They fit nicely, assuming you get the right size, which suggestion being there, you should go ahead and get the right size. And they're nice socks. They're comfortable. The cushions socks are nice and cushiony. They don't cause any hot spots. You're not going to, your feet aren't going to feel particularly hot when you're running in them in the summer months. And actually, I should have mentioned this earlier, but they'll also keep your feet kind of warm in the winter months, which, hey, benefit. So in the end, I would highly recommend going ahead and getting these. If you're not willing to jump on board with the Injinji socks that I talked about last week, these are definites. If you want to stick with your traditional box-toed sock, definitely go with the Feetures socks. They won't do you wrong. They'll last you a while, and for the price point, the bang for the buck is definitely there. So yeah, absolutely, go out, get yourself a pair of Feetures socks or a couple of pairs of Feetures socks, and wear them on your next run. You'll enjoy the ride, I guarantee it. So let's go ahead and close this out with a couple of things. First off, next week we're going to be talking about tier nest goggles. In fact, next week's episode is going to start a 3-week series on goggles, where I'm going to talk about some goggles that I've used for swimming, you know, because you don't use goggles for anything else. But yeah, we're going to talk about next week. We're going to talk about the tier nest goggles. They're decent goggles, and for goggles, from the perspective of a guy with a large gourd, I feel like I have a little bit to say about them that you might enjoy. So come back next week, watch the tier nest goggles episode, and yeah. Now I'd like to remind everybody, I do still have my challenge going on. You see, I'm wearing my FC Cancer Endurance Club shirt, and yeah, I'm still doing my fundraising event for that. I'll have the link down in the show notes for this. And once again, if I can hit my $500 goal before October starts, I will dye my beard to look like the Irish flag. So if you'd like to help with that, hit the link down in the show notes and go ahead and donate any amount that you want. Every little bit helps out and would be greatly appreciated. Also, I've gone and set up a cash account, or yeah, so using the Cash app. I have set up a Cash tag. The Celtic Clydesdale, or Celtic Clydesdale, is my Cash tag. And if you'd like to help me out with, you know, getting other pieces of equipment that you think you would like to see me do a review of from the viewpoint of a larger athlete, please go ahead, hit me up on the Cash tag, and which will be down in the show notes also. And you know, let me know what you'd like me to try out, do reviews of. If it's something that I need to do like with a lot of mileage on, then I'll go ahead and I'll get the product. I'll put in the mileage. I'll mention in a future episode that, you know, it's coming up, obviously, and I'll go ahead and, if you so desire, I'll mention your name, that you helped out, and that it was your idea, and yeah, we'll make it happen. So yeah, if you liked what you've heard so far in the video, go ahead and like this one. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you can be notified when I drop my next video. Until then, like I always say, keep on keeping on.